It looks like the entire way that we consume our media is about to change. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Turnout. I am your host, Eloy. Don't forget to check out usaaudiences.com. So out today in Variety, actually, I wanted to discuss what's going on here because the streaming services are getting, I guess I'll say, a little ridiculous now. It was announced today that Apple Plus is set for release in November. That's at the same time as Disney Plus, and that they're going to be pricing their service at $9.99, which is slightly less expensive than Netflix and a little bit more expensive than Disney, so they're hoping they're gonna ride that middle ground there. It's also been leaked from an anonymous source that it's going to have a small selection of shows, so that's gonna be kind of interesting as to what that $10 is gonna get us. We're obviously gonna know more as we get closer to November. But Apple has committed $6 billion to this endeavor of Apple TV Plus. And it's full of original programming. But guess what? They're launching into a field that already has Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime Video, which is actually later going to be joined by HBO Max and NBC Universal. And all of these services are touting original programming. So I'm not really sure what Apple is bringing to the table. I've looked at the list of shows. I'll put a link to that so you can check that out. But none of them really sound all that like engaging and like the thing that I like have to have. Not like Disney Plus where I'm like, well, obviously I need my MCU fix. Apple doesn't really have anything like that going for it. But hold up, you say, hey Eloy, you've never really talked about what HBO Max or NBC Universal is going to be. Oh gosh, you're right. Let's talk about those for a minute. So if you haven't heard of HBO Max, well, AT&T bought Time Warner a while back and actually changed the name of the company to Warner Media. And in that acquisition, they now own HBO, TBS, TNT, CNN, and Warner Brothers Films and TV studios, and actually a whole lot more than that, like there's a ton. And this way they're hoping to not only compete with Netflix, but also they're hoping to get those cord cutters because AT&T also owns DirecTV and they've been losing a lot of people who are subscribed to their service because they're cutting the cord and they're going to streaming services and they're like, aha, we're gonna get you there too. HBO Max is looking to be out spring 2020 and is slated to cost about $16. Now, if you think about it though, that's actually a good value if you are already paying for HBO Go or HBO Now. Those cost like $15 a month already, so it's only an extra $1, and on top of that you're getting your CNN, your TNT, all those things. The other new service that is also going to be entering the field here is NBC Universal, and it's honestly looking like they have some stuff that they own which is pretty good, but it looks like right now everybody's super excited because of The Office. And that right now is on Netflix, but a lot of people are like, well, obviously I'm gonna go over to NBC Universal because I want The Office. So that's gonna be leaving Netflix pretty soon here. But they've also announced that Queer as Folk, One of Us is Lying, and a revived third season of AP Bio will be exclusive to the streaming service. There's actually not a ton of information right now that we have about what all they're going to be giving, but keep in mind that they own CNBC, MSNBC, Bravo, E, the USA Network, Sci-Fi Network, and obviously Universal Pictures, and a whole bunch of other like huge properties on top of that, so you can only imagine that it's going to include all of those things. NBC Universal is also slated for April 2020. And right now they're saying it's going to be free, but with ads. So there's probably gonna be a fee if you don't wanna watch ads, which I probably would not wanna watch ads, but I don't know if I'm completely sold on the whole NBC Universal thing. But each of these companies coming out with their own streaming service, it's weird. It's kind of like cable where they all have their own channel, only instead of you paying one fee and you have all the channels, you have to pay for the individual companies for you to get their stuff. That said, the biggest one in the room that is going to be hurt by this is Netflix, because they've had a monopoly on the streaming services for a very long time. And I think all of the other companies kind of saw what CBS did with their streaming service and they were like, that'll never work. And then they're like, whoa, they're pretty successful with their streaming service. I think I want in on that too now. And what that's going to do is that Disney and Marvel and all that, they're now pulling all their stuff off of Netflix. NBC, Universal, they're going to pull all their stuff off of Netflix. Netflix used to be the place for you to come and see everything, whereas now there's going to be all these other places, which means Netflix is going to have Netflix stuff. And the question is, how big of a value will Netflix still be in that form? And do they have enough to stand against all these larger companies? And yes, they're just starting with their streaming services, so they probably won't have the huge subscriber base right up front. But how many are all of these different companies going to siphon away? So to sum it up, we have Netflix, Hulu, Disney, ESPN, NBC, CBS, HBO Max. Who knows what other companies are going to decide to come out with their own streaming services as well. But there are so many companies now doing this because this is standard protocol. This is the way of the future. We're going to be paying individually, and they're going to be monthly fees that are small, but honestly, if you add them all up, it's going to be huge. And all of these are going to be contending for your time and your money. So the question is, what's your final verdict? Is this going to be the wave of the future that's going to be great for everybody because you can kind of pick and choose? Or is it going to be terrible because you want it all and now you're having to be nickel and dimed for every little bit that you want to watch? But the fact that all these companies are kind of dipping into the same well, I think that there's definitely going to be some who are going to lose out to others. And I feel like in my last video I said, nah, Disney Plus is not going to be the death of Netflix. But guess what though? All of these together might be the death of Netflix. That could be a thing. But I want to know what you guys think about it. Let me know about that down in the comments. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you always know when the Turnout puts out a brand new video. And hopefully you've been enjoying the videos that we've been putting out. We've been growing like gangbusters, and I have been having an amazing time with you all. With that said, I have been your host, Eloy. This has been the Turnout. Thanks for showing up.